Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video will be a book haul. I bought 11 books since my last book haul, which I want to say was at the beginning of June or maybe end of May. I haven't been buying a lot of books, which I'm really happy about because I just feel like my physical TBR is endless and I really want to try not to buy that many books anymore. I mean physical books, obviously. I just really want to try to buy less and read more of them because I have a lot of physical books that I need to read. I am very excited about all of the books that I bought. I feel like I made some really good purchases in the last little while. Indigo was also having like a crazy sale, which I will talk about when I haul the books from Indigo, but I'm happy I didn't go overboard like I did a couple months ago. However, I do go through phases, so I feel like at some point later this year I will buy a lot of books again. Anyways, the first two books I've actually showed in videos before, but I haven't technically hauled them yet. So the first book is Resisting Roots by Audrey Carlin. This is the first book in the Lotus House series. This was a Passionflix adaptation, so I read the book and watched the movie and made a whole video on that, so I will link it down below. This follows a young yoga instructor who is raising her siblings after the death of her parents, and she meets a baseball player, Trent, who is recovering from an injury, and they have a very cute and hot romance. I really liked this. The other book I've already shown in a video is Bad Reputation by Kristen Becker Ritchie. This I think I showed in my mid-year freak out tag. I will link that down below. This is the hardcover. I really wanted this beautiful edition. It's so pretty. It has like skulls and hands on it. I just think it's so cute. I mean, I could have saved money and just bought the paperback, which, I mean, I kind of wish I would have bought the paperback just because I feel like this would be so hard to reread with the hardcover because it's so big and heavy. But knowing me, I really loved this book, so I could see myself buying the paperback as well. But for now, I just own this very pretty hardcover edition. Then I bought a physical copy of one of my favorite books of the year so far, and that is 10 Trends to Seduce Your Best Friend by Penny Reid. This I absolutely loved and I needed a physical copy of it. This follows Winnie and Byron, who have always hated each other. They do not get along. Winnie is a science teacher and she's also trying to build her social media presence by making videos about science and everything like that. And Byron is a famous author. And after a video of them together goes viral, they have to kind of fake an online relationship. I loved Winnie. I loved Byron. I loved their romance. This book was legit almost perfect to me. I already want to reread it just because it was so good. And I feel like I kind of rushed through it, but it was just so good. I love this book and I'm so happy to have this physical copy. Then I bought Funny You Should Ask by Alyssa Sussman. This I have seen everywhere on TikTok. I have only heard good things about this, so of course I picked it up. This I believe follows a journalist who interviews this famous actor and they kind of have like a special connection, but they end up going their separate ways, and then 20 years later they reunite and fall in love or something. Like I said, I've only heard good things about this, so hopefully I end up loving it like everybody else. I also love this cover. I think it's so unique. And then Indigo kind of had like a crazy sale. They had buy 2 books, get the third free. And then I think a lot of their romance titles in general were just on sale. I don't really understand how like the buy 2, get the third free worked because I feel like I bought all of the books that were underneath that like sale, but I never got any books that were free. Maybe they just mean like plum points free. I really don't know how that sale worked, but regardless, I did buy some books on sale. Like a lot of these books were cheaper, which I'm very happy about. I think I ended up buying like 12 books, but a couple of them were pre-orders, so those I won't get till like the end of the year. But I have the 5 that I already got. So the first one is Lore Olympus Volume 2 by Rachel Smythe. This is the second volume in the series. I think there's supposed to be 3 volumes. I don't know if there'll be more than that, but this is just a Hades and Persephone retelling. It is a beautiful graphic novel. I'm not like big on graphic novels, but I really enjoyed the first volume, so I had to grab this second volume. I'm very excited to read this. Then I bought Barbarian Lover by Ruby Dixon. This is the third book in the Ice Planet Barbarian series. This I've already read and loved. I actually own the original edition, the original copy. I love this series so much that I have been collecting the traditionally published editions. I also just think they're really beautiful. I love all the covers in the series so far. I also love this spine. This whole series so far has like very colorful, bright spines, and I'm obsessed with it. This is actually one of my favorites in the series, so I'm very happy to own this other copy. Then I bought The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. This, I feel like I've seen everywhere lately. I've also heard really, really good things about this. I initially bought this because I saw Lisa from Remarkably Lisa give this 5 stars. And I feel like she sometimes rarely gives books 5 stars. So when she rated this 5 stars and said it was like her favorite book, I immediately had to buy this. So I'm very excited to read this. I don't know anything about this other than it has to do with books. Could be about authors, could be about a bookstore. I have no idea, but I don't really want to know anything about this until I start reading it. Hopefully I will read this in August because I just feel like I'm really gonna love it. I also love this cover. I think it's so pretty. The next book I bought was Swear on This Life by Renee Carlino. This was the last Renee Carlino book that I needed to buy. I now own all of her books. I have only read 1.5 so far, but I really want to just read everything that she's ever written, so I now own all of them and I can binge all of them. I don't know anything about this book and I honestly don't want to know anything about it. When I read Sweet Thing, I had no idea what it was about. I knew it was like about musicians and that was it, and I ended up falling in love with that book. I really want to go into Renee Carlino's books kind of blind, so yeah, don't know what this is about, but I'm very excited to read it anyways, and yeah, I'm very happy that I now own all of her books and I can just read them whenever I want. And the last book that I bought for that Indigo sale was The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. This is the Indigo published version. It's published by Indigo, which I find very, very interesting how Indigo published their own version of this book. I think they also did that with Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas because Indigo has an exclusive cover of that book, and I'm assuming Indigo is doing that with self-published books, like indie books. They are like reaching out to the author to publish their own version so that they can sell in stores because they don't sell books that you can just like buy on Amazon. Because I have seen so many TikToks of people going to Barnes & Noble and they see so many like self-published indie books on the tables. However, in Indigo, in Canada, like we don't have that. So I feel like this is Indigo's way of like getting the self-published books on their shelves. Does that make sense? Regardless, I love this book and I, of course, had to get a second edition of it. I'm not like a huge fan of this cover. I think it's cute, but I'm not like super in love with it. I feel like it's very basic. It also is way smaller than the original copy. I think it's just because the font might be smaller, and also I think there's less spacing. But I mean, if you have read this edition, let me know if anything is actually different. I actually had 10 books to haul, not 11. I don't know why I thought I had 11. I only have 10. But the last book I bought was The Roughest Draft by Emily Wibberley and Austin Siegmund Broca. This I didn't buy in the Indigo sale. I was going to, however, when I went to order it, it was out of stock. And when I went to go buy it in store, the sale was already over. So sadly, this didn't count for the sale. I've also seen this everywhere on TikTok and I've heard decent things about it. I believe this just follows 2 authors who dated and then broke up, and now they have to reunite to write a book. I've kind of been spoiled on this a little bit, so I don't know how I'm going to feel about it, but I still want to give this a try to see if I'm going to end up liking it or not. So those were all the books that I bought in the last couple of months. Let me know if you have read any of these books and what you think about them. Also, let me know what books you have bought recently. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, follow me on all my other social media, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!